Hello and welcome. Today we've got something simple. So sit down, take a round, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome. I'm joining you here today from the garage. Still haven't got my Rampage game inside the house yet. Gotta do that eventually, but you know, whatevs. It's a nice day outside, so I thought I'd come out here. Today, it's a Ask Kev Anything. Oh my god, it's gonna be awesome. So sit down, stick around, and as always, enjoy. Alright, so let's get this show on the road. Questions. First question from Twitter, from Brad Cormier. And he writes, and it's kind of cool here because he's referring to another one of my segments, Nail or Fail. He writes, Kevin, nail Yakupov. Is he a nail or is he a fail? For those of you who don't know who Nail Yakupov is, for most of you know I'm a huge Oilers fan, and Nail Yakupov is the first overall selection of the Edmonton Oilers in this year's draft. Now, this could have gone either way, nail or fail. Since the guy's name is Nail, I would have to say he is a nail. And to strengthen my case about this, although I wasn't all enthused about it until the Oilers signed Justin Schultz yesterday. An awesome defenseman. So because we got a young defenseman anyways, I feel way better about drafting Nail Yakupov. So to answer your question, Nail is a nail. Next question from Brandon Utterback from Twitter again, and he writes, I recently moved, and where I live now is an hour away from the nearest comic shop. You ever tried digital comics? Well, Brandon, I've never tried digital comics, except for the type of digital comic that you might borrow from the internet. Yeah. Not an official digital comic, no, I've never tried one, so I really can't comment on if they're good or not. I've heard some people that have subscriptions to them and they're, you know, and they don't complain. I just have a problem with paying money for something, like a digital comic, and not having something tangible, like an actual book. So, well, that's just me. You can always borrow them from the internet too, I guess, but I wouldn't suggest it, nor would I endorse it. Next question from Zealous Zombie. He writes, Kevin, I'm starting to get into Batman graphic novels. Good for you, man, because there's a lot of good reads out there. He says, I've read Year One, The Long Halloween, and Dark Victory, and could use some new suggestions. Thanks. Alright, well, Zealous Zombie. You could always read one of the most famous ones of the whole Batman mythos for graphic novels, and that's The Dark Knight Returns. Because I see you've already read Dark Victory. So it just as well to go a little step a bit in the past and read that. Another one that you might want to read right now, because it's going to be a hot commodity as a new Batman movie comes out, is Nightfall. The Nightfall. The whole grouping of the Nightfall series, because Bane being the main character of this series and him being the new villain in a new Batman movie might not be a bad idea to read up about him. And for those of you who don't want to read up about Bane or Nightfall but still want the full scoop, shameless plug incoming, you can watch my Bane 101 video. Alright. Next question from Alex Santiago, and he writes, Yo Kev, are you looking forward to Amazing Spider-Man? Hell yes, I'm looking forward to Amazing Spider-Man. I've already got my tickets for tomorrow's show. Tuesday. No, not Tuesday, what am I saying? Monday. Tomorrow's Monday. I'm going to be watching Spider-Man on Monday. Now, I don't know if everybody else has these advanced screenings or not, but here in Canada, we get to see it at 8:30 on Monday. So that's going to be awesome. I'm going to review the movie as soon as I'm done, run the fuck home, film it, put it online so you guys will know exactly what I thought of it. almost in real time. Now, I don't know if I have spoilers or not in it. I'll make that blatantly obvious in the beginning if I do have spoilers in it, so people don't freak out that I gave out spoilers. Yeah. So yes, I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully. Next question. From Sam Martini, and he writes, ask Kev Anything, if you chose a hero and a villain to have their own movie, which two would you pick? Villain, naturally, you gotta go with my favorite villain, Venom, because I love Venom. So Venom would be my villain pick for a movie, although you kind of, with this new Amazing Spider-Man reboot, you kind of have to do the whole thing all over again before you give him his own movie, but he'd be my pick for a villain. For a hero, I think I go DC on this one, and I go with The Flash. Because I can see a Flash movie working if you have the right villain. And I think if you throw in the whole time travel thing, and you put in Professor Zoom, which is one of my favorite DC villains, if you throw him in there, you've got a potential to have a pretty good movie. Because if you watch that whole, all the other movies that have come out concerning time travel, such as the one recently with Jake Gyllenhaal, that's name totally escapes me right now for some odd fucking reason. And I know that there's gonna be like 15 comments underneath this that'll say, this was a name, this was a name, this was a name. Was it source code? I think it was source code. Maybe I got the name. But yeah, time travel is fucking awesome. And The Flash and Professor Zoom do it to the best. So that's what I would go with. Now questions that were sent to me via email from Mark Miller. Whoa! Mark Miller wrote me a question. Somehow I doubt this is the real Mark Miller, although he has mentioned me on his website before. It has been almost 3 years since the Kick-Ass movie came out, and you have yet to make a review of it. This is true. I know. I'm a slacker. I'm a fucking slacker. You even promoted the comic when it came out in 2008. Yes, I did. And actually, Mr. Mark Miller, that's when you posted a link to my promotion of it on your message boards. So what's the big idea? Fuck, I know, dude. If you have seen the film, please share your thoughts. Well, of course I've seen the film, and I think I've talked about this during another Ask Kev Anything or something at some point anyway, but I love the movie, I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a great movie. I think the best part of the movie was Hit Girl. Hit Girl was so well portrayed and a fucking real treat to watch. So, did I love Kick-Ass? Yes, I loved the movie, and especially Hit Girl. So that's your answer. So if the real Mark Miller happens to stumble upon this too, I love the movie and I'm looking forward to a sequel. Last question here from Murph. We're going to keep this short this time I should say, because I got to do another video tomorrow about Amazing Spider-Man. Oh my fucking god, it's amazing! Murph, you've probably been getting this question a lot, but what have you been wondering? What do you think about the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon and Young Justice cartoons? I'm interested in your thoughts on these shows. Thanks, I hope you can fit me in your busy schedule. You know what? There's always time for Murph. Always time for a little bit of Murph. Just a little Murph. Young Justice, haven't watched it, can't talk about it. Plain and simple. Ultimate Spider-Man, I have watched. What do I think about it? Interesting, because a lot of emotions go through my mind when I think about the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. I'm not still quite convinced it's even set in the Ultimate timeline at this point, which, because there's some components of everything in there, it's all mishmashed. Ultimate Spider-Man, the cartoon. For the most part, I like it. It's enjoyable, it's watchable, the animation is actually really, really good. And some of the voices are good in it, like J.K. Simmons doing J. Jonah's neat. Stan Lee having cameos in it is great, hearing his voice too, and actually seeing the janitor character just look like him. That's always cool. Some of the things that I don't like about it, it's Well, first of all, we've gone through, what, 11 episodes so far, and we haven't really seen any of the mainstay villains yet. And it's 11 episodes in, so I'm kind of upset about that. We've seen Venom, which looks amazing, by the way. Not the first Venom from Venomous, but when he comes back. And spoiler alert, by the way, if you don't want to hear any spoilers, you might want to fast forward this part here. So I'm going to wait. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Harry Osborn as Venom. Alright. He looks great. When Harry gets the symbiote, he actually looks really fucking cool. He looks kind of like Venom from, I don't know, Amazing 374, 375 from the comics, or Venom from Lethal Protector. A little bit of gums, a little bit of teeth. Not overdone. I like that. I actually like that a lot. So he definitely looks very, very fucking cool. Giving Harry the symbiote's kind of weird, but it actually plays out kind of well. But the only real mainstay villain that we have in this series so far is Doc Ock. And if you look at it, I mean, Doc Ock's just like there, like, you know, kind of like fucking a mad doctor, like fucking Frankenstein doctor shit, you know. It's weird. That's all you get, really. You get some of the characters like Norman Osborn that in there, but they're not really doing anything yet. And it is 11 episodes in. It's kind of weird. I gotta admit that. But they've gone with some other villains which are kind of weird. Frightful Four, stuff like that. Seeing Claw in this is kind of weird too. Which finally got his own Marvel Legends figure. After all these waves, Claw has done it! So, yeah. What I don't really like about it, and I guess it's yin and yang, because sometimes I don't mind, and sometimes I think it's overkill. It's kind of what Family Guy has been now known for doing. It's you're going to see a little bit of, you're going to see something happen in the story, and it's going to go, either this reminds me of, and then you get a flashback, or this is kind of like, and you get another scene with it mocking the situation that's going on right now. You know what I mean. Watch Family Guy, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Peter, this reminds me of blah blah blah. Yeah, and then he fucking thinks back 10 years ago when this shit happened. That happens in Ultimate Spider-Man a lot. Every time that Peter says a quip, it'll go into a kind of analytical, little, slight 10-second comedic sketch. I'm a sketch. It'll go into that for like 5 seconds to kind of mock whatever he's thinking, like the angel and the devil on his shoulders, or the whole, you know, wheel of excuses and shit like that. That, you know, sometimes it's actually a little humorous, sometimes it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? So I'm kind of yin and yang about it. I can see how a kid would love it. We gotta face it, these cartoons are made for kids, they're not made for adults like us. So I can see how a kid would find that entertaining. So maybe it's good. For me, not as good, sometimes alright, I guess. So overall the show is, it's okay. It's watchable. I don't find it as luring as Spectacular was, for the simple reason because we don't have any fucking villains going on in this show so far. Except for Venom and Mad Scientist Doc Ock. So that's it. That's it for the questions. So tomorrow I will review Amazing Spider-Man for you fine folks out there. It's going to be exciting. So for a very quick Ask Kev Anything, I'm Kevin McGrath. Thank you for watching. Take care, guys. Later.